We've tried to be informative on Carolina people the last 3 years. This morning, let us entertain you. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This one we're at the Myrtle Beach Herald. We're focused on accordions, and we're visiting with a local entertainer and accordionist, Michael DelGardo. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming in.
It's my pleasure.
Early on a
happy to.
Wednesday morning. Even more exciting is in a few minutes we're going to hear you play. For folks who haven't been to Villa Romana or may not have seen you around town, you've been there quite a while.
20 years, off and on. I've been let go a few times, but Fran and Ronaldo are wonderful people, and I enjoy working for them, and they enjoy having me work for them. And it's one hand washes the other. It's a very cool little arrangement.
Now, are you able to get out and play much outside of Villa Romana at all, Michael? Do you go, like weddings or anything else?
Every now and then, but I actually turn them down most of the time.
Really?
It's very important to have a consistent product at the restaurant, food, service, entertainment. If you advertise any part of that, well, people come down 800 miles and they're in town for 1 week, and if they happen to come in on a Wednesday night when I took a gig, and then they might be disappointed, might not ever come back. And it's very important to have a consistent product. So, and the accordion, although we're talking about it, trying to promote it, is not the hottest, instrument on the planet.
Yeah, well, folks would say, why the heck do you focus on the accordion? The cool thing is, you hear about pianos or drums or guitars all the time. Who focuses on accordions?
Not much around here. In the north, around Great Lakes areas, where you have like towns that are half Italian or German or Polish or Jewish or anything like that. There's a lot more accordion players. It's not quite the novel instrument that it is in the South.
Right.
But the South is changing. It's growing. It's people are moving down here and bringing some of that flair, with them. And so they're more used to the accordion now.
Sure.
Than it was 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think for our viewers in the PD or southeastern North Carolina and Florence or Darlington or up in Lumberton or Laurinburg. I don't know of accordion players. I can't even think of many more down here. I think there's one at a German restaurant, right?
Yeah, John Lahosky, a good friend. He's half owner of the German restaurant in North Myrtle Beach.
Right.
Ziggy, a lot of people know him as Ziggy. He was the first around here, and he worked at the old Roma restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And he was there for like 35 years, and he's a great friend. He and I share a birthday.
Is that right?
When I first came to town, I was investigating on places to work, and I actually heard about him, and I went to the Roma restaurant, and he saw me, and he's like some sort of gypsy fortune teller thing, and it's scary, though. He was playing at a table, and I was sitting there holding the menu, and he looked at me, and then he looked away, and then he came over, and he said, "You play the accordion?"
No.
Yeah. It was very scary. And I said, "Yeah." He says, "But you're not here for my job." And I went, "No." He says, "Okay." And he turned around and he walked away. It was the strangest little encounter you ever saw. But then later on break, he came over and we talked, and I told him all about how I had just come to Myrtle Beach and wanted to, investigate, the possibility of playing the accordion in an Italian restaurant. So he gave me some directions to go.
Good.
And, we've been fast and furious ever since. He's a great guy to know.
That's great. I think
he actually called me up the year of Hurricane Hugo and told me to save my money that year because it was going to be a very bad winter. And he didn't have any other parameters to talk about, but he predicted a very bad winter. And it was a very bad winter. It was
right after
financially brutal.
Yeah.
I was working for $4 an hour picking up fish on the street.
Wow. Yeah, cleaning up afterwards.
Yeah, cleaning up afterwards.
Boy, Michael, I think you kind of answered when you said when arriving in Myrtle Beach, but if folks didn't catch that, are you originally from the area?
No, I was born in Pennsylvania. Because my mother is from Pennsylvania, my father is from Pennsylvania, Easton, Pennsylvania, which is on the Delaware River. My mother's from Summit Hill, Pennsylvania. Both of their parents are from Italy, and they settled in the coal fields of Pennsylvania, and they were coal miners. And they met up there and got married in 1958, and I was born a year later in 1959 in Palmerton, Pennsylvania. And when I was a little boy, I guess 2 or 3 years old, our neighbors had a piano, and I used to bang away on that thing. And I kept asking my mom for a piano, but I couldn't say piano. I went banana, and she kept giving me bananas until one day I went, no, banana, 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 banana. I was banging on the table, and she figured out I wanted a piano. And having 3 kids in 4 years, there wasn't really much of an option of a piano, so they gave me a little accordion.
Wow.
And,
you were how old, Mike?
4.
4?
At that point. When I got my accordion, I was 4 years old. Right on.
You were banging on the table for quite a while.
For about 3 years.
Yeah.
Actually, I was banging on the neighbor's piano, and that's how I discovered music.
So it was age 4 when you got active in the accordion.
Yeah. My grandfather was very instrumental. One of the songs that I played for the recording was his favorite song. It's Way Mighty, and I played that song for him. He would sing it to me and play it, and I learned how to play that song when I was 4 years old.
Wow.
And it was evidently my grandmother's favorite song, and he played that for her. And so he taught his oldest grandson to play it on the accordion. And the rest is history. You know, through a lot of love, him and his buddy Pete Gregoris taught me how to play the accordion. Pete was a violin teacher. He could read music, and the two of them would take me down to the Knights of Columbus parties and the local bar. And
And you were what age then, Mike?
I was about 6.
Oh, come on! You going down to local bars?
I wasn't drinking anything.
Yeah.
I was playing little Italian songs for all the guys who were playing bocce and pinochle, and they would throw quarters and $half in my little box.
No way.
Grandpa would take a few of them and buy himself a beer and give me some of it. And I'd go home. My mom tells me the story about how one day I came home after making $4 or $5. We're talking 1966 or 67. And I told her that I didn't need my allowance anymore, that she could make my bed.
Oh, my God.
And she quickly pointed out that, no, I had to make my bed and pick up my toys because that were part of my duties and chores around the house. But if I didn't need the money, then that was perfectly okay.
She would let that slide. That's right.
She would be happy to
pocketed that. I'm sure.
Break it up to the other ones.
Now, did anyone else in you? You've got brothers and sisters, Michael?
I have 3 sisters.
Really?
Gina is 15 months behind me, and she's a psychologist down in Miami, Miami area. Married to Sandy Birchman, and they have a daughter, Sandra. Yeah.
And we won't put you on the spot on that. I promise.
Spot,
yeah, you've got 2 other sisters.
And I have another sister, Teresa, who's married to a ex-ranger, snake eater kind of guy. A really great guy, Tony Hutton. They live in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And he was in the Army for 22 years. And, and just retired a couple years ago. He's a PA in the hospital in the Raleigh area now.
Right.
And then I have a sister, Victoria. She's the baby of the family, actually. The next one in line is my brother, Christopher. And he's out in San Antonio, Texas, getting ready to get married this November.
Great.
And to a wonderful girl from Argentina, Erica.
And you're just now celebrating your first anniversary.
Yeah, my first anniversary was a year and 2 months.
Wow, yeah, just a little while back.
And 3 days. No, that's a 10th, so it's 10 days.
Right.
So yeah, it's brand new, and I have a wonderful wife, Andrea, who saved my life. She gave me a reason to be a good man.
Wow,
someone
Michael.
to be good to. I was quite a dog when I first moved to the beach.
Those are strong words. Saved my life.
Yeah,
Andrea saved my life.
She gave me a reason for living. You know, I had no real direction. I was playing music in the restaurant, but I was a pretty bitter accordion player at that time. And you know, I met this wonderful woman, and she knocked down a wall around my heart that had been there for 20 years. I moved to Myrtle Beach because I got my heart broken. Yeah, I'm pretty much over that one now.
Yeah, Michael, you are. Those are strong words. Of course, she's also the mother of y'all's baby.
Yep. We have a little baby girl named Gianna, and she's just the icing on the cake. Quite a little monkey, 10 months old. And mind if I show a picture?
Oh yeah, you've got the couple pictures right there.
Here she is. begging for us to pick her up in the playpen, and hope the glare is off of that thing all right. I can tilt it so the glare catches it.
That's a great shot. Absolutely.
And here's a picture of her.
Yeah, hold that
on
up.
Memorial Day weekend.
Wow.
During from the Firefighters Memorial Golf Tournament. That's one of their hats. And she's just, I can't put it into words, because at this age of my life, to become a daddy and a husband at the age of 45 is the greatest gift that God could give me. I never thought it would happen. That's why I say that Andrea saved my life, because I really had given up all hope of being a husband and a father, and not that I dreamed about it consistently, but there was a hole in my life that I didn't feel like would be filled, because, well, frankly, I blame it on the accordion. Now we
oh yeah, let's blame it on the accordion.
Blame it on the accordion.
Right.
It's not really a chick magnet. You tell a young lady you're an accordion player, and last thing you hear is, "Oh boy." Most of the time, it's like, "Oh, I'll go get my grandma."
Go get my grandma.
And it's the same thing with bankers. You put accordion player on the application form for, a mortgage, and they are like, "Oh, you think your monkey could co-sign that form?"
Oh my God.
So it's not the most respected instrument in the world because of the stigma it has. The Lawrence Welk, old folks only like it. It's not cool. Rock and rollers don't play it. And then you have, Urkel, who did a lot for my dating career. Thank God I worked at night. I didn't have to watch him too much, but I heard enough stories about him.
Right, yeah. That was what show? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know the name of the show,
but that guy, I remember that.
I hope it wasn't on Fox.
No, I didn't think it was on Fox. I don't think it could have been. That was before my time.
What channel was that on? Do you guys know?
No, that's okay. No studio audience here. That's right.
It's just a cameraman. Yeah.
That's it's so fascinating when you think about how the impact of an instrument, of course, became your entire life. I mean,
well, true. I started at the age of 4, and I was like the hit of show and tell in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I'm playing songs that are on the radio.
Oh yeah, sure.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, and the Postman by the Beatles, and Wait a Minute, Mr. Postman. I couldn't think of the name. And it was really cool until I hit puberty, and then it was like, oh man,
what happened?
What happened?
Yeah.
It's like 1 minute I'm okay, getting chased by little girls at recess. That was, when they chase you and hit you, that means they like you, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when they chase you and hit you in high school, that means get away from me.
Stay back.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said playing songs. Will you take a second to play us a song, Michael?
Sure.
That'd be great.
I'd
Give us a couple minutes. That'd be wonderful. Okay. Thank you, Michael. That was fantastic. My God, how powerful. It kind of gives me chills here, and that particularly since you said, you know, that was one of your grandfather's, one of those was one of his favorite songs.
Yeah, the second one was called Waymati, and the first one was Cheno Luna Menzamati. It's a little dance song. A lot of people heard it in The Godfather, and the last one was the Tarantella, which is something that I used to play every night for Mama.
Mama Lucia at Villa Romana Italian Restaurant, obviously, for some of our viewers who have not visited the Italian Restaurant of the Year. We're very excited about that. Or,
oh, yeah.
A lot of folks, it's been an amazing establishment for north of 20 years now, Michael.
Yep, working on 21. They opened January 30th or 29th or 28th, something like that, 1985.
Right. So it'll be 21 years this January. Wow. For viewers who haven't, and of course, as you were playing, it's difficult to get a full feel of the accordion. Would you mind sitting it up there on your lap and explaining a little bit about the accordion?
I can definitely do that.
Wow.
Accordion is a wind instrument. It's mostly related to the harmonica, you know.
Right.
The bellows control the airflow and therefore the pressure and the volume and all that stuff. The louder you want it, the more you have to squeeze it. Kind of like anybody you know. These little things here change the reeds or the harmonica blocks that are in the accordion. I can make a deep sounding one, or I can change it to a different whole set of reeds.
Oh yeah.
Or different combinations of them. And this side over here plays the bass and the chords. You keep your rhythm and harmonize with the right hand. It plays what a bass player would play on a bass. Boom, 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 boom. And then the chords, major, minor, seventh, and diminished chord rows that are related to the home row, just like on a typewriter.
Right.
Of the bass note here. Like this one is C, that's C major, C minor, C seventh, and C diminished, straight on across. The next row up is G, which is the fifth of C. You know, without getting too technical.
Yeah.
The hard part's keeping your nipples out of it.
Oh, golly. Well, oh, be careful, please. God, thank you, Michael, for holding that up. That's fantastic. We'll have to, for folks who haven't seen you, of course, again, for accordion players here on the Strand, they could see other accordion at a local German restaurant. Obviously, they could
Luigi's
see.
is, I believe, where Ziggy works. Up at
the Broda, some
up at Coquina Harbor.
Right, sure.
Another guy that I can't remember at the moment. I've met him twice, and he's a fine player. He really is. I just have a little void in the brain right now.
Sure, I know. Early on a Wednesday morning, it's tough to imagine you getting up. Obviously, you're up late at night in the restaurant.
I get home
you were in
around
there late last
12:30, 1 o'clock.
Sure.
And usually relax for about a half hour, 45 minutes, or an hour before I actually take a sack. So.
Right. Gianna's normally asleep at that point.
Yeah, she's a wonderful baby. She sleeps from about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night until about 9 o'clock in the morning. Everybody says we're lucky, but, you know, we just feed her good. She ain't really too worried about too many things right now.
Michael, what's it like being a dad?
Oh.
Can you explain it?
I can't explain it. It's just the most overpowering love that you can imagine. I mean, you just sit there and you hold this little baby early, like when she's a couple weeks old, and she stares you down when you're holding the bottle. She's got her little hands wrapped around your finger, and she's just staring at you, trying to get to know you more. You just lose it. You know, it's just the coolest thing to have a baby late in life when I really can appreciate it and I can afford it, and I have the time to spend with her. I've never been happier in my life.
Yeah,
I could go on. We could do another
that's right. 10 minutes on that. We've only got 5 more minutes, but Gianna's so beautiful, and of course, it's such a great mixture of you and Andrea both.
Yeah. She's quite the personality. We brought her to the restaurant, not so much right now during the busiest time of the year, because pretty much every seat is needed.
Right.
But you know, during the off season, we brought her in. People who have seen me come from, you know, useless towards the useless end of the scale of humanity, to grow and to, you know, clean my act up, and then to meet a wonderful woman, and then have a beautiful baby. They've seen the whole spectrum of my life, and the outpouring of love from the customers at the restaurant has been just as touching as anything. You would not believe, right, how many people have brought clothing, gifts, boxes of
For
diapers
Gianna?
for her.
Wow.
Just probably because they don't think an accordion player makes enough money to
afford it. Yeah.
And I don't.
Yeah,
really.
Keep bringing
it.
Yes,
yeah. It's all wonderful. Now, she's I can't put enough words. We had a customer, Harry and Jan, who own a business, which Wild Birds Unlimited. It's a pretty cool place. It's not an infomercial for that, but they told me when my wife was pregnant that I was about to experience the most unbelievable joy, and I was like, yeah, and she said, no, really, you have no idea.
Right.
I'm jealous. You are going to experience something that I experienced 20 years ago.
Right.
And although I love my children, you know, they're 22 years old, and it's a little different than holding a baby.
Right.
When you hold your baby, as you know, because Emma Claire is just absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, she is,
And her personality is
overwhelming.
So that it makes your life complete. There are very few things that can come close to that sort of accomplished feeling.
You can't put it into words. Very definitely. How'd you get hooked up with Fran and Ronaldo? We just got a couple of minutes, Michael. You mentioned that Ziggy gave you some ideas of place, but how'd you get hooked up with Villa Romana?
Well, I walked in the door one night. I was a cable TV lineman here in town. I built the cable systems up in the little river with some other guys, and I wanted to play music. I hated climbing telephone poles, so I came down to the Villa and knocked on the back door, and I said, I play the accordion, you know, for a plate of pasta. Let me play for you tonight. And that was like in the middle of July, 1985, and I played some Italian music. People liked it, some people didn't. You know, at the end of the night, I was playing Nights in White Satin, which is hardly an Italian song, but it turns out it was Fran and Ronaldo's song that they danced for the very first time.
Wow.
And it was almost like fate. You know, I didn't really plan on it, but, you know, we hooked up and everything was wonderful, and it's been awesome, you know. They are two of the most wonderful people on the planet. They're godmother for Gianna and godfather. I've been playing godfather for Ronaldo for so long. It's about time that, you know, he became one. So
good word.
I just, you know, I love them. They're my family. There's no doubt about it.
And you said you'd been in and out of Villa Romana a couple times.
Yeah, they had partners at one time, which was his brother-in-law and sister. And although I love his sister, the brother-in-law, I can deal with that. So he had fired me about 5 or 6 times in about 5 or 6 years. But I'm like the only accordion player without a hearing aid in 500 miles, so they would fire me, and they'd have no accordion music, and I'd go to somebody else and entertain. But you know, the Villa Romana was the best food, and the best atmosphere, and the best, you know, best of the beach. Best of the year. Italian restaurant of the year. Italian restaurant of the year. And, you know, it was just such a naturally good fit. Plus, Mama Lucia, every time I got fired, Mama Lucia wouldn't let Antonio live it down, so then he would bring me back.
Yeah.
But me and Antonio, we clashed quite a bit. He fired me once on the golf course. He fired me one night because he had an argument with Mama, told her to get out of there. And I was pointing out to him that he couldn't actually fire her because it was too cheap to actually pay her. And you have to pay people in order to be able to fire them. And so he fired me because he almost paid me. So.
Look at this, Michael. We have run out of time. We're going to have to get you back another time. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Greg. Thank you.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Michael DelGardo coming up next. You know, think back to the 40s and 50s when there was so much live entertainment in restaurants and public squares. Everywhere you'd go, there was live entertainment. It's not happening all the time anymore. It's really a great throwback to the 40s and 50s. Live entertainment's a luxury. It's kind of a novelty. But when you're in a restaurant, you can sit back, enjoy a meal. You know, I oftentimes looked over and thought, golly, I wonder if folks are really getting into Michael the many times I've been to Villa Romana. And you can see, even if he's not ringing chimes with them right at the get-go, by the end of their meal, he's touched them in some way. You got to get out there. Not an infomercial for Villa Romana, the Italian restaurant of the year, but a real opportunity to recognize the novelty and the excitement, the luxury of live entertainment while you dine. Check them out at Villa Romana.